All righty. All right, good afternoon again. All right, so the question was asked, are there any assignments over spring break? The answer is no, but in a disclaimer, by the time you come back from spring break, you're only 2 weeks away from milestones. So what my suggestion over the spring break is that you start looking at study materials um, for milestone, and we will concentrate all our energies when you come back on preparing for the milestone. As far as today's assignment, uh, again, part of this was assigned last week and the other part is new. So let me go. And now instead of being on your to-do list, it's located in the module. So it's in the module right after phylogeny and calligrams. And you want to, again, make sure that you, for the first one, you want to make sure that you study this picture, because this is a climatogram. Okay, this is what your climatic. Yours is simple. They're not as not all climatograms are simple like this. They mostly look like a tree, but yours is simple like this. In that you want one solid line. Everything is a stationary item, and then you want to classify everything after that. So that's what that one is going to look like. So let me come back here again. Okay, so you want to go through your dichotomy. The top part of it is a dichotomous key, and you want to just go through and based on the descriptions, you want to name each picture. And again, notice how it starts off with two things that everybody has in common. They either have speckles or they don't. And it's always, that's how the dichotomous keys are always set up. They either have the characteristic or they don't. If they do, it tells you to do one thing. In this case, it identified it. In the second case, it tells you to go to step 2. When you go to step 2, same thing. It'll have two similar characteristics. Either it does or it doesn't. And if it does, it's got the one characteristic. If it doesn't, it tells you to go to step 3. And in this case, step 3 takes you to the names of the last two pictures. Most dichotomous keys are longer than this, so it's not always that easy, especially when we get to more advanced organisms. They simplified this a lot, as did your Gizmo worksheet. It kind of simplified it a great deal. They did physical characteristics on the Gizmo activity. They didn't talk about lungs and laying eggs and all that sort of thing. They stuck to color and rattle and stripes and no stripes kind of thing. All right, so again, you're going to draw one single line, label it. The thing they have in common is they're all stationary items, and then you're going to put them in order going up the line according to who's related to who. All right, so that's that one. And again, this one, you're going to go forward on this and look at the next module so that you have one, you're defining a feature. And I say, what animals are they? These are the 5 kingdoms that we mostly talk about. So notice that we're not talking you or bacteria or anything like that, just animals, fungi, protists, prokaryotes, and which are the single-celled organisms, and plants. Okay. All right, we got one more person always. All right, so you want to list features, like kind of like what you had on the Gizmo activity. Do they have scales? Do they have lungs? Or do they feed their, they have live births, those kinds of things. So you want to list some features that are typical to that kingdom that are not typical of another kingdom. Okay. All right, and then you want to, down here at the bottom, you want to just put a check mark in the box for whatever characteristic suits that particular group. All right, and notice these are all groups. Notice again, know your, for studying purposes for the milestone, um, and we'll probably have a unit test on this after you come back, but not before you go. But we need to do classification as a test, and we'll do that when we come back. But know your classification mnemonic, and I think I went over that with you all in the video, that the slideshow that we looked at the other day. Hold on. Oops. Did not mean to click that out. All right. I'll be back in a sec. But I wanted you to. Oh, it was the YouTube video that we watched the other day. So let me pull that video back up and then go through your videos over the holiday. Watch some videos. Yes, definitely use your tools that Cami has for you. If they'll draw a line or they'll draw um, a graph for you. It's kind of like a bar graph tilted. Not a bar graph, a line graph tilted. That should work for you as well. All right, let me actually, the mnemonic that I was showing you was in the video, so let me pull that up. But it is on your YouTube list. But over the break, like I said, there's no assignments over the break, but you know, we have a lot of videos in your on your playlist. Look at some old videos. Look at the new one that we're on now.
Every dog breed has unique needs. That's why Royal Canin makes over 60 breed formulas tailored to meet them. And right now at PetSmart, save up to $15 on select Royal Canin large bags.
Can't get rid of this commercial. Mhm. Why do you have the wrong video on your playlist?
top shelf, you discover its possibilities. Fresh on your home decor? Top place. Getting to shape your style?
What is playing?
Consider Top Shelf is here. For your kids' latest obsession? Yeah. Last minute celebration? Top Shelf is here. No matter what you're looking for. Top Shelf has
plate of rim, the most recent of which is represented by this fork here, after which there is divergence. In fact, tortoises share many characteristics with mammals. They have an internal skeleton. They are amniotes that
Oh, goodness. Lost my whole page again. My computer is doing wonderful things today. Hopefully your computer is doing you better than it's doing me. 'Cause my whole, in trying to close one thing, it just closed out everything. So it appears. Truly did. It's a wonder it didn't close me out of the Zoom because it sure shut down my whole Clever page. All right, let's start all over. All right, Nikila, you know what we're doing? You got your worksheet loaded, downloaded? Okay. Nikila, not Michaela, I see you got something that you're working on, and that's fine. All right, everybody who's present. And towards the end of class, I'll pull up that mnemonic video again, and hopefully you have created one for yourself. I think it's interesting how every single one of these skipped out on doing the extra page on the dichotomous key activity. This is- And only 3 of you have done the quiz online. Folks, that was 5 points worth. I forgot about that. 5 points worth of your grade. So actually the grade that all of you have should be dropped 5 points more, except for these 3 people. So I have Nikila, I have Jacoby, and I have Andrea. The rest of you have to go back and do the Gizmo quiz because you have not done the assessment in Gizmo. You need to go back and do that. So I have Jacoby, I have Andrea, I have Nakila. Everybody else needs to. All right, let me pull up the Gizmo and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me write Jacoby's first. Okay. If you do Gizmo, come back to that. All right, let me share. All right. You had the Gizmo up here at the top. And then when you scroll down from that, there's an assessment. And there are 5 questions that you need to answer in that assessment. So everybody except Jacoby. So Jacob, you need to do it. Andrea and Nikila, you have done it. So you don't have to do it. But it's right underneath the activity. It says assessment questions, and that grade is recorded in the Gizmo, so you don't have to copy that from me. All right, Andrea, you copied that for me, but you didn't do the second page of the activity. And I'm going to pull up somebody else's, because every single one of y'all skipped it. I'm going to stop sharing because I need to go to another class to show you what you were supposed. And I'm not going to redo this, so we just need to move on. But every single one of y'all skipped it. We'll just do a different dichotomous key activity later on. So, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to. Okay. All right, so when y'all do your assessment, I'll add that score to your present score. Right now, the present score just represents the 55-day worksheets grade out of 55. The so it was 55 plus 5 for the assessment, and that's what made 60. All right. But let me show you one that what you were supposed to do with that. Okay, I'll check in just a second. And I don't need a screenshot of the quiz, folks. Everybody keeps sending me screenshots of the quiz and not a screenshot of what they asked you to send. All right, let me show you someone else's paper who did. All right, this is what you were supposed to do for um, that question too, and none of you did it. Everybody decided that we're just gonna skip out and we're not gonna do it. And I'm not going back to grade this again, but I just wanted to show you what you were supposed to do. From the activity, you were supposed to screenshot for the organism. So they picked the ones with the fish. You didn't have to do all of them. There were 8 fish, you had to do all of them. I mean, 4 of them, and create the box like you had for the question number part 1, and take the first 2 lines and whatever, the first one was, if it said go to 2, then 2 was supposed to answer the question. If it said, and if the first, and you were supposed to just use the couplets from the activity, so you didn't even have to make it up. So for example, they used the fish. So let's go to the fish. Where's the fish? Cartilage fish. All right, so they took a picture of what, the skates. Yeah, they went through and took that one. They took this one. And what else did she take? She took 2 of the other fish. So the 2 keys, either you have a flat body or you have a cylinder body. Those were the 2 things that all of them started off with. And so you had a description of the 2 skates and you had a description of the 2 with the shark. That's all you had to do for that, but everybody skipped it. Too late, too late, too late. I'm not going back to look at these again. All right, so all of those have been scored. Like I said, I will adjust it to represent whether or not you did your gizmo quiz or not. But that's it. This, I want you to go forward with what you're doing. But you need to, I'm going to have another practice worksheet for you to do as far as dichotomous keys are concerned. Because y'all just chose not to do it. Okay. Why is it saying? Okay, yeah, it's 4 out of 5. So I'll add 4 points to the score that's already in the grade book. All right, Jacob, I got yours too. Okay, all the scores have been adjusted. All right, so let's make sure I got one person who's turned. No, actually, no, nobody's turned in today's work yet. So please make sure that that is correct. And folks, it is time. Oh, long time past time ago. All right, you all have a good evening. And let's make sure that we get everything straightened out on Wednesdays. And again, we'll have another activity to do on Wednesday. So let's make sure we get this turned in by Wednesday. All right, you all have a